Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
From the show that puts the D in debate, this is the Great Debaters Contest, Nakuru Region, Austin Yombok.
And Mariam Bashar. Welcome to the show. Today we have Naivasha girls going versus Githima Secondary School, and they're debating on whether the National Youth Service should be made compulsory for all citizens. We'll have them debate now. Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
I think discipline, success, does not just happen. You have to be intentional about it, and that takes discipline. What do you think? Cindy Tracy from the Naivasha Girls, here to strongly propose the motion that states National Youth Service should be made compulsory to all citizens. National Youth Service is a service developed by the government with a vision to catalyze youth empowerment and to impact the society in a positive way. The general goals of the National Youth Service include preparation of workforce. An example is Nigeria. In Nigeria, before one vies for an elective post, one has to have undergone the National Youth Service Corps, and also it promotes values such as citizenship, cooperation, and it also eliminates vices, and this has led to the decline of crime rates in Kibera by 75%. It also promotes entrepreneurship by the saving of 35% of the daily income of the National Youth Service workman. The skills attained in the National Youth Service makes one productive in the job market and innovative. One Gary Scheinberg from the British Telecom marveled at the skills and the maturity of the Israelis who worked for him. He admitted that the service gives them problem-solving skills and interaction with a broad number of people. Many of these young people go to colleges with a better perspective of what they want to do. They have the leadership skills and life experience that actually help them in their lives thereafter. National Youth Service also help in youth empowerment and improvement of society. Look at the new Kibera. Look at the face of Kibera ever since the NYS project was initiated. There has been the building of 96 ablution blocks, 96. This is a great improvement from the flying toilets which were used before. There has been the construction of 9 police posts, which has led to the decline of crime rates by 75%, people, 75%. Well, is this not the transformative impact and the youth empowerment that we want as a nation? So help me in proposing the motion that states the National Youth Service should be made compulsory to all citizens. Thank you.
First proposer, you have 3 minutes to make your opening statements.
Wow. She talks of discipline. My very honored opponent here. She says of discipline. Does it mean that Nyobok here or you there have gone under the National Youth Service to be disciplined? No. I, Peter Mwangi from Githima Secondary, here says that it is not a match for every citizen to go under the National Youth Service to be a Kenyan or to be whoever you are. Let us look at the matter that we are undertaking today. What is National Youth Service? These are protocol aimed at providing ways of reconstructing the society by providing youth with services and learning. This protocol was established in 1964 under the CAB 208 law. Why should we say that? Why should somebody say that it is for you to undertake the National Youth Service training for you to be a loyal citizen? What is this that my opponent has to say that it is for you to undertake this? Let's see something. By undertaking the National Youth Service, it will deprive the education that we have. It will bring laziness unto ourselves. Because when we say that I have to go to the National Youth Services, it only trains some courses like tailoring, like some courses like masonry. And here we say, when I go to university or when I go to college, I'll take my course like I can do CPA, I can do medicine, I can be a person, but I don't mean that in NYS you will not be a person. But still, my point is at discipline. You can maintain discipline wherever you are. My second point, I will say that it deprives lower sense of education. By NYS, we will say it will start at Form 3s for us who are in secondary. I will not work hard because there is NYS waiting for me. And an example of Judge Minor here would take 4 years and 6 months to undergo a course for masonry. There, he could be doing masonry. But here, he has done his course, of which he has not wasted a lot of time to get to where he is. My third point goes to formation of 5 Pillar Acts. This was done in 2014-2015 by the Devolution Ministry. This act was intended to improve the standards of the National Youth Services. The standards by 2014 were National Youth Services were recruited as 5,000 and now they are 10,000. What increasement or what changes have gone place? Are we just worsening the situations or are we increasing the status of the situation? Thank you.
We'll hear rebuttals now. Naivasha girls, you have 3 minutes.
Representing the Queens draped in purple, Naivasha Girls Secondary School, I am Grace Zawadi, proposing the motion that states the National Youth Service should be made compulsory to all citizens. I'd like to start by refuting points presented by my worthy opponent. He says that you mustn't go to NYS to have high levels of discipline. Discipline is something that is inculcated into people over time. With more experience of more situations being taught by people who have been through it all, your discipline can only increase. You will never be disciplined enough. And especially for Kenyan youth, we aren't disciplined enough. So I think the NYS will be doing some good for us. Then he said that it will make the Kenyan youth lazy. At the point at which we are right now, we cannot get any lazier. At NYS, people learn how to do carpentry. People learn how to farm. People learn how to act in situations where you have to have military skills. And I think this will only increase your levels of hard work. Then he said that it will take too long. No, it won't. It's only 5 months. And during this time, most people waste it. They end up getting themselves into drugs and the amount of excitement that is there after Form 4. I think this is a way to curb that. Now, onto my first point, the NYS is self-sufficient. Within the camps, there are agricultural centers where the servicemen of the NYS will work, and the farm produce that they will produce is what they will consume within the camps. And this means that it won't be costly on the part of the government. When they're doing community projects, they recruit people to come and help them. Now, these people are paid 471 shillings per day, and they save 30% of this. The far they had gone, they had saved 40 million Kenyan shillings, and that is a lot of money. This was projected to raise to 90 million Kenyan shillings, and this is the kind of money that this youth will never see unless they robbed a bank. Now, to my second point, patriotism. The youth of Africa and generally the world are known to seek education for the sole reason that they bolt out of their country first chance they get. And for example, in the US, their NYS is called AmeriCorps, and this is where they get their military from. The military is the most feared, the most fierce military in the world. Why? Within AmeriCorps, they inculcate values of patriotism. These people are passionate about their country, protecting the people inside there. Now, I would urge you to stop being lazy and that we should join NYS and improve our nation. Thank you.
Opposition will hear your rebuttal. You have 3 minutes.
Yeah, my name is Margaret Jerry, represent Githima Mixed Secondary School, and I'm here to oppose the motion that National Youth Service should be made compulsory for all citizens. The grading of the slums stopped because of politicization in Malawi, opened at 1971 and closed at 1973 because of politicization. For instance, if we look in our country, last year there was a case of minister for NYS. They said that the minister was corrupt, and there was loss of money in NYS. On my second point, denial to form trade unions. We all know that even teachers have their trade unions so that those trade unions can speak on their behalf and fight for their rights. Like for instance, if teachers raise several grievances, they should be worked on. But in National Youth Service, they deny the youth to form trade unions, thereby enhancing them to form other crime unions. On my third point, there is corruption in the National Youth. In my third point, there is corruption in the National Youth Service because the National Youth Service has raised over 791 million through corruption, through dubious tendering procedures. If we take, for instance, they recruit many youth services, thereby convincing them that they have supplied enough facilities to use. Like we take, for instance, in last year they recruit more than 10,400 youths to work on the NYS, but you know that there is not enough facilities. Have you read the book Occasion and Chalk Circle, where there is corruption? We are being introduced to a prince who is very corrupt. He signs a war treaty, and send the judges to go to war, and he never sent horses or fighting facilities.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
The proposers have been asked if it is true that all strong or good military personnel are former members of the NYS, and the opposition have been challenged if they think that the National Youth Service lowers levels of education, and to expound more on how that happens. We'll have them respond. Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
As said by Oprah Winfrey, where there is no struggle, there is no strength. Anita Monajuma from the Naivasha Girls here to strongly propose the motion that states the National Youth Service should be made compulsory to all citizens. Now, answering the question I have been given, no one said that the people who are in the military all come from the NYS. It's just that most people who have attended NYS, they gain the military skills, they gain defense skills, hence might later on think about joining the military. That is simply what my colleague meant. So, supporting the quote from Oprah Winfrey, we have, you all remember the case in Garissa, right? The attack of the university. I'd like to say that NYS increases or improves the security measures in the country in one that the former Devolution Cabinet Secretary, Anne Waiguru, while she was still in power, or let's say she was still holding her seat, she suggested that the NYS be made compulsory to all Form 4 leavers, to all high school leavers, so that there may be no repeat of the Garissa incident, which was quite tragic. Imagine if the students in Garissa had these skills, that the military skills, defense skills. I'm sure not many of them would have lost their lives or gotten hurt. So, I think that actually it is quite a good thing being in the NYS. It can preserve lives, as we have seen. And even if it does not prevent a repeat of the same, it at least reduces the impact at which it happens. Do you agree with me? A second example is, in 1960, war broke out in Nigeria, where Biafra tried breaking away from Nigeria to gain its own independence. Biafra failed, but the country was war-torn. So the university students in Nigeria and other youths put themselves together, and they helped the war-torn zones out with relief. This student scheme, the youth scheme that they had made up to provide the war-torn areas with relief, later became Nigeria's NYSC, yes. Now this NYSC today meets up to discuss the experiences, to discuss what they have gone through in their training. And mark you, only 1 out of 10 of each of these students say negative things about the NYS. So I still say that NYS should be made compulsory, as we have seen from evidence, and there I rest my case. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Okay, it's like this. I'm Esther Kamau from Githima Secondary. Okay, she's asked, how does the NYS reduce the level of education? Let's say you're in Form 4. You'll say that, I won't work hard because I'll obviously get into the NYS. You see, it's like that. And then how does it increase crime rates? Okay, so let's say a person have gone to the training and he have been taught the military tactics. He'll see that because, as in considering how Kenya is, there are no vacant places, as in there are no jobs. So because he or she have the military tactics, he'll join, let's say, the radicalized groups and, cause crimes. Some of those topics that are taught in the youth service should be put in the education curriculum because they're doing double work. Teach most of the things in the high school and then in NYS. So the resolution should be that they put some of those topics in the NYS in the secondary in curriculum. And then, okay, there are wastage because let's say a person have gone through the training and then comes out and finds there are no jobs. As in considering how Kenya is, as in there'll be so much wastage because as in after all that training, he'll just go as in like waste, you see.
We'll hear closing statements now. Naivasha girls, you have a minute.
It is my pleasure to be back here to convince you for the last time that NYS should be made compulsory. Now, we have seen that countries like Israel, the USA, Cuba are doing such an amazing job with their National Youth Service. And yes, you may not have the same economic prowess as those countries, but then doesn't our journey of 1,000 miles start with one step? With reference to the 300 years that America took to perfect the art of democracy, we also need to invest the same amount of time, the same amount of dedication, the same amount of money into the NYS, and I can tell you for sure that not only for Kenya, but for the entire world, the NYS is a charm sent from the heavens. And now, my question, do we throw away the baby with the water? NYS has its many, many flaws, but then it's only work, dedication from the public, the government, and especially the youth that with that, will we attain success with the National Youth Service? It's my pleasure. If you love to win, you know where to be. Thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute for your final submission.
I'm back again, still saying that NYS is not the best way to go. It's like NYS are teaching technical trains. Everybody is here. He's a tailor. Who will be the buyer? You can't buy something that you already have. You know how there are so many mercenaries. Everybody is a mercenary. Where will employment be created in? I wish somebody could answer me this question. Thank you.
Naivasha girls, Cindy, Grace, and Anita. Cindy, you had a very good start. What I appreciated all round were the statistics that were quoted. But of course, you need to cite them. But the statistics were good. It showed you were well-researched and you had mastery of content. And the example on the Wild War in Nigeria, that was good. And I also like the quote, if you love to win, you know where to be.
To Githima Secondary, I have to admit that you're first-timers, is it? Margaret, I know there were hitches here and there, but expose yourself to books, expose yourself to reading materials, and then you'll perfect your English language, fine? Peter, at least you tried in building a case for your team. Of course, there could be questions here and there, but as a first-timer, this is what I need to tell you, that when you're building a case, ensure that you cushion it. Otherwise, the opponents can poke holes, and that means that your argument will be watered down. So look for sound and reasonable arguments that cannot easily be watered down by your opponents. Kamau, you're struggling with your presentation. Of course, I know you're struggling with nervousness. At one point, you did not know what to do with your hands. You know, it happens. Nervousness, it happens. So to the school, I just need to encourage you that it was a fair presentation. It was a good attempt as first-timers, learning experience, and I believe next time you'll come back better. Is it true?
Well, it's a numbers game here at the Great Debaters Contest. Githima Secondary, you garnered 55%. Please give them a round of applause. Yes. Naivasha girls, you have 72%, making you the winners of this debate.
Congratulations to the two teams for such a spirited debate. We actually want to thank you, members of the audience, for being attentive, participating, and giving us questions and comments. And to our viewers back home, follow us on social media at Great Debaters EA for Twitter. I am Austin Yumbok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Keep watching the show.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.